are the 3 huge action steps that I stopped taking to clear my acne naturally. They are not going to be what you think. Hi there, my name is Therese, and I had really bad acne for 15 years, believe it or not, and I finally cleared my skin naturally. And ever since, I've made it my life's work to get you clear skin without harsh chemicals, pills, and or cream. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. I'm filming where my desk is today. I don't know how I feel about this. I think it's kind of cute though, and I'm loving the lighting. We'll see though. The first action step that I took to heal my acne naturally, that is very counterintuitive to what you may think I did, is that I threw away 90% of my topical treatments. 90%. Here's why. They never worked anyways. Okay, I jest, but I don't, because they didn't. If you've followed me for a while, or you know a little bit about me, you know that I know that acne starts from within. We basically have these 4 kind of conditions at the pore that lead to acne breakouts. We have too many skin cells, we have too much oil at the pore, and your skin cells don't slough off the way they should. So your pore is crowded, it's oily, and then bacteria gets in, bacteria that sits on our face all the time, and it creates a breakout. Now, topicals help that last step, help address the P. acnes, the bacteria that gets into the pore to create acne. That's what topicals address, which, listen, in the short term, I think benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid, all the topicals to help acne, clindamycin even, they can help short term. But what happens is, and comment below if this has happened to you, they will stop working in 3 to 6 months. Does that sound like you? I think it probably happened 15 times that I found over my 15 years with acne, that I found a product that I thought, oh my gosh, this is it. This is gonna be the thing, right? And I would start it and it would clear my skin and it was amazing. And then literally there was like a timer on that and it would stop working in 3 to 6 months. And that's because of bacterial resistance to the antibiotic or the topical that I was using. So when I went to heal my acne naturally, I had a really bad dermatologist appointment at the very end. It was like my 15th dermatologist appointment, right? And I said, I was chatting with the doctor and I was going over everything that I had tried to clear my acne. I had tried every possible pill, cream, hormone, minus Accutane. I never did that. But I was going over all those details with her and this dermatologist, she kept saying over and over again, I don't know what else to tell you, Joe. You've tried everything. We have a $500 light treatment. It may or may not work, but I don't know what to tell you. And that killed me. And I was obviously not going to use her annoying light treatment that was $500 that may or may not work, right? And so I went home, and on my drive home, I had this big aha moment that led me to clearing my acne naturally, where I realized, no, we haven't tried everything. We haven't tried my food. And so I embarked upon a journey to create an acne clearing plan for myself. And it ended up being the plan that I help people clear their acne naturally with now, my acne clearing program, the Clear Code. You can apply to that via the link below. But in that research process of trying to figure out why I was breaking out, what was contributing to acne, knowing that there was a deeper root issue, I discovered those 4 conditions at the pore and I realized, okay, all my topicals, they're just like a reactive stopgap to a larger problem. Like they're never gonna fix my problem. So I truly went home, literally, and I swept all of my topicals, all my pills, creams, hormones into the trash. And I was like, done with you. Which leads me to the second thing that I stopped using to heal my acne, and that was my birth control pills. Now, I love birth control for all of the options that it provides for a woman. For me, taking it for my acne did not go well. Okay, I take it back. It went well in that sometimes it cleared my skin. But you know what else it did? It made me gain 20 pounds, maybe gain 2 cup sizes, which sounds great, but was so painful. And more than anything, my moods were real weird. Does that sound like you? Have you gone on the pill to heal your acne and it really impact your emotional state? I know so many of my clients have struggled with these very challenges. I'll leave a little clip here from a client that I just spoke with a few weeks ago, her name was Angelina, and her husband noticed that like she was not feeling normal emotionally on the pill.
3 years ago,
yeah,
we were about to leave to go out and something fell off the clothing rack and I literally flipped out.
Those moments where
Started.
you're like, I'm losing it and this isn't me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay,
my husband was just like, okay. But he knew that I was having issues. Like we noticed little things like I was, as I would call, I was like bipolar.
Yeah.
You didn't know what you were getting.
And like, I'm not going to take something like a hormone like that impacts my mood to the point where I don't even recognize myself, number one. But number two, that has to be kind of indicative of a larger issue. For me, taking the birth control pill was, again, just another kind of like stopgap and or Band-Aid on a problem that needed more than a Band-Aid, right? It was just like a Band-Aid solution addressing the symptom. So addressing the acne like the symptom, but not getting to the root of the issue. And so stopping my birth control pill, while difficult, we're going to talk about that in a second, was awesome because I felt like me again. The third thing that I stopped doing to heal my acne naturally was taking my doxycycline, so my oral antibiotic. Comment below if you have also taken doxycycline. I can imagine that you have if you are finding me. In my research, when I started to focus on natural acne healing, there was this awesome study that I found. And when I found it, all I could think was, are y'all kidding me? Nobody told me about this? Nobody? Basically, these two doctors, John H. Stokes and Donald Pillsbury, had discovered this gut-skin axis, wherein what was happening in your gut would show up in your skin. And they were some of the first doctors to propose using Lactobacillus acidophilus supplements, so like live active bacterial cultures, to support skin healing. And their clients and patients had amazing results when they took those cultures in terms of acne. And then I went down the gut rabbit hole of acne, vitamin absorption and leaky gut, so intestinal permeability, how all of those things deeply impact your skin. And I was pissed because I had been told my whole life, probably like you, that what I'm eating has nothing to do with my acne, it's not going to impact my skin, everything. And yeah, so I stopped my doxycycline. So the three things that were on my counter when I decided to heal my acne naturally that I stopped using entirely were all of my topicals, my birth control pill, and my doxycycline. Like, oh, solid sweep. There was a white trash can next to the counter and I just said, screw this. I just swept it all away. So what did I do instead, you're asking, to heal my acne naturally? The first thing I did was a ton of research, and we're talking at least a month full of like focused research. And I was studying to become a fitness instructor at the time all of this was happening. So I was already learning about the gut, body, skin, mind, food, nutrition links. And I put together a plan. And that plan is what I followed for 30 days, truly, that's it, to clear my acne naturally. It was clear in 30 days, literally. And it's been clear ever since. That was over 10 years ago. And that is the plan that I use to help clients heal their acne naturally via my acne clearing program, the Clear Code. You can apply to that below. That's number one, is that I followed a plan. But let's talk about some of the details of the plan as they relate to some of the things I just shared. The second action step that I followed when I threw away my topicals is, I said 90%, right? I didn't throw them all away, because here's the thing. One main thing that I kept from a topicals perspective is moisturizer, number one, and spot treatment from like a benzoyl peroxide salicylic acid perspective. And here's why. When you're going off topicals like that, actives, so benzoyl peroxide, salicylic acid in particular, those two, you should taper off them. You don't want to just remove them entirely, number one. And then I kept my moisturizer in, a really solid, simple, no perfume, no oils, like Vanacream type moisturizer, because one of the reasons you get acne is because you have these tiny little, like, you have these pores and then bacteria gets in, like I shared at the beginning. But the more kind of microscopic tears you have at the pore level, so, and by microscopic tears, I mean like dryness and irritation and tightness, your skin doesn't have kind of a solid, healthy lipid barrier, the more acne you're going to be prone to. So I remember when I had acne, I wanted to dry my skin like the Sahara Desert, right? Because it feels so oily and uncomfortable and itchy, and you just want to, and you can tell that some of the acne looks the way it does because of the oil, and you want to dry it out, right? So I remember I would just apply all these harsh products and just dry it, and then that would make things worse. Also, I should have included this before, but another thing that I stopped doing is I basically only washed my face 2 to 3 times a week. I completely stopped washing it in the morning, and I would only wash it maybe a few times a week at night, again, with the gentlest moisturizer. So the 3 topicals that I kept in were a really gentle wash, like again, a Vanicream, Cetaphil, CeraVe wash at night, maybe 3 times a week. Benzoyl peroxide a little bit afterwards, and I tapered myself off those products, and then moisturizer like crazy. Everything else, serums, toners, all in the trash, but I kept those 3 topicals. The second action step that I took as part of my plan is that I focused on gut healing galore. When I learned all about those research studies that showed that your gut deeply impacts your skin, I was pissed, like I mentioned before. But then I thought, I can fix this. And so I focused heavily on basically what happens when you're taking something like doxycycline long term. It can kill off really good bacteria. We all have a complex mix of bacteria. It's about 3 pounds from our mouth to the other end. It's really complex, and that it's called your microbiome, and you have opportunistic bacteria, and then you have beneficial bacteria. Obviously, you want more beneficial bacteria as opposed to opportunistic, but you're always going to have kind of like a turf war between the 2. And the more you take something like an oral antibiotic, doxycycline, for example, you are going to potentially kill off good bacteria. So I focused a lot on adding in probiotics, number 1. I went ham on those. And believe you me, when you start taking probiotics and you haven't taken them for a long time, you are going to go in new ways. I also focused on adding in fermented foods. So I'd have sauerkraut, kimchi, kombucha, basically I tried to have one of those every day. And then I had a crazy variety of foods. Really, your gut thrives on a variety of fruits, vegetables, starches, carbs, proteins, fats. You really don't want to eat the same diet every day. It's just not that great for you from a diversity perspective. And so I really, part of a gut healing protocol is to remove offensive things. So something like doxycycline could kind of fall into that group, and then re-inoculate your gut with healthy bacteria. So I focused a ton on that. The third biggest action step that I focused on taking was actually just going on a much lower glycemic diet. There is a ton of type 2 diabetes in my family. So that indicates a history and a genetic predisposition to insulin resistance and glucose challenges. And now, remember those 4 steps to a breakout that I mentioned at the beginning. Oftentimes, a high glycemic diet wherein you're having a lot of spikes and falls in your blood sugar will lead to acne because it creates a chain reaction that creates too many skin cells at the pore. Basically, when you have spikes and falls of your blood sugar, high spikes and falls of your blood sugar throughout the day, what happens is your body then releases insulin. Your glucose rises, your body doesn't want your glucose to be too high, so insulin is released as a result. What happens though over time is if your glucose gets high and your insulin obviously doesn't want it to be too high, so you release more and more insulin over time. Now, the more insulin you have running around in your body, the more of this other hormone, insulin growth factor 1, you have. And insulin growth factor 1 encourages cell growth. And so basically, you see a really simple link between a high glycemic diet and too much insulin, too many skin cells at the pore, leads to the perfect conditions at the pore for a breakout. So a low glycemic diet, what does that mean? It does not mean you can't eat a cookie. I tell clients every day to eat a cookie. 80% of the time, I want you to be grabbing fruits, vegetables, complex carbohydrates. So instead of grabbing white bread that's really just sugar, basically like sugar the second hits your mouth, you want to grab a bread that has a ton of seeds and nuts in it, right? You want to be having things that aren't going to create such a high, strong glycemic response the second you eat them. And so you want things that are going to create kind of a lower glycemic response over time. You do not fix blood sugar management issues in a day. My acne clearing program is 8 weeks long, and that's a really good start. But basically everything that we do in my program is to create a lifestyle of clear skin, right? I don't want you to go on a detox or to clear your skin for 30 days naturally and then not be able to keep it clear beyond that the second you have a donut. That's not good. Basically, you have to create habits from a food perspective, topicals perspective, hormonal perspective, all the details, right, that support you long term that you can actually maintain. I want you to go to your bachelorette party and have an amazingly glowing skin the entire time you're there, right? Or go to your bestie's weddings and be her bridesmaid and not be worrying about whether or not you're going to be broken out. So on that note, I'd love to know what you think about these 3 action steps. If you would also love to stop taking the birth control pill, stop using doxycycline, stop buying hundreds of dollars worth of products. If you want to stop doing all of those things and you want to really get to the root of what's happening for you and your acne and why you're breaking out in the first place, click the link below to apply to my acne clearing program, The Clear Code. I've helped thousands of women just like you heal their acne naturally with food, nutrition, and really create a lifestyle that supports them for the rest of their life to keep their skin clear, and I would love to see if I could help you do that too. Also, we have a private Facebook group, so if you would like to join us there and share your journey and get supported by thousands of other people dealing with acne challenges just like you, click the link below and find us there as well. I really hope you like this video. I would love to know what you think about throwing away all of your topicals, throwing away the birth control pill, doxycycline, all the things. And if you know anyone struggling with their skin, or anyone who has questions about acne, or they are wondering if there's a deeper root issue because they go to get their facials done, or they buy 5,000 new products every day, week, or month, right? Send them this video. I would love to be kind of the spark for them that helps them to heal their acne naturally or even start their journey. So make sure you subscribe to my channel and hit the bell to be notified when I post a new video. Talk next time.